This should be a pretty easy one. We got this newer model country coach coming in. Um, we're gonna replace thermostats on it, transmission fluid service. We're gonna go through and inspect the everything underneath, grease job, that kind of stuff. Not a whole lot of maintenance. This should go pretty well for us. So they stayed the night in one of our camping spots here overnight, and this is now the next morning. We're going to fire it up, cold start here in the morning, just to see how she starts up, and then get it pulled in the shop. We like to let it cool off outside after a long trip, so we don't pull a super hot bus into the shop because it makes the shop just too warm. See close on the other side? We're changing all the oil in the hubs, and of course this one's got metal coming out of it. But we're just going to take it apart, inspect it. The bearings looked good on it when we did take it apart, so we just cleaned everything real well and readjusted the preload on it, and he should be good for another 50,000 miles or so on those bearings. This was the only one. All the other ones were in good shape. Definitely have a bit of a flat spot on this tire here, as you'll see. Yeah, look at that. That is quite a flat spot. We're draining the coolant in the background now, getting ready to get to the thermostats.
How bad do you think that is?
Replacing the thermostat here. So I cleaned the gasket off of here. About half of it was here, and the other half unfortunately stayed stuck to the block in there. Jonathan went full on in the engine. This is an AD-IP air dryer filter, and you don't unscrew it like most filters. There's actually a bolt that comes from the bottom of it that goes straight down to the middle. Take the bolt off, and then you can just lift it right off of there. Don't use a strap wrench or anything. We tried that. So we're gonna put them on the scales as we drive them out of the shop here so we can weigh each individual tire as we go. The benefit to this is that we'll know left to right if he's out of balance. So as we can see here that the tag, one of them is a little bit more weight than the other one. One side of the drive axle is heavier than the other, and then same with the steer. But it tells us all the axle weights and the individual sides too. So it'll help you with loading and stuff like that too. Well, he didn't make it very far before he broke down. This is very, very unfortunate what happened here. So this is the road next to our shop. So that's our property that's next to him. It's about a 3/4 of a mile to get him back into the shop. So he's gonna have to back down the road here. All of a sudden he had a massive air leak, and the air leak is coming from because the parking brake diaphragm blew out on the bus. So anytime you had the parking brake released, it was just dumping out massive amounts of air. So we could get them aired up, you know, set the parking brake, air up the bus, release the parking brake, starts dumping the air, and we can get them about 250 feet at a time backed up. This is a very hard road to back up. You're going uphill and a very curvy road with no shoulders or anything. So it's going to take a little while to get them back. I'll only be able to go a couple hundred feet at a time before the air gets back down to where the parking brakes automatically reapply. How's the air pressure? How's your air pressure, Jeff? Air pressure. Was pulling the toad. We had to drop the toad so you can be able to back up too. I'm glad it's not me backing up this road. This is not fun. Yeah, just as much as the air pressure go down. Yeah, that shouldn't do anything at all. You fit, and you won't. On there. There's no way.
hammer and a wrench.
You know what your hammer's at? I could have him air it up and release the parking brake, and it'll take the pressure off it, and then we could take it off. That'd probably be safer.
Okay.
Go ahead and start it up.
Well, we should probably get everything ready first before we do all that.
Okay. So you're gonna do the ratchet. Okay, I'll let you know in a second. Okay, and you understand how it's gonna come backwards this way if it reapplies. Okay. I'm gonna have him go ahead and do it.
Well, I think because it'll push into the can, right?
Yeah.
And I need to not use the ratchet then, because it's just gonna catch the ratchet.
Push into the can. I don't know what you're saying, but
The rod will push into the can.
yeah, the rod's gonna come backwards. There wasn't room for it.
No.
Okay.
The slack adjuster will just eat it.
Okay. Do you want me to go ahead and do it now so the pressure comes off though? It's just gonna leak a lot of air.
Yeah, we can.
Okay, you clear?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, go ahead and release it. How many more threads you got? A lot?
Yeah. Okay, take the other one out.
Okay. I'm gonna have him go ahead and
applied?
yeah, I'm gonna have him reapply it.
Okay.
Go ahead, you can push the button if it didn't already make it do it by itself.
I don't know what it's gonna do.
I'm sorry?
You can put the parking brake back on, but it might have already done it by itself. Okay.
Christ. Yeah.
Did it shoot out of your hands?
Huh?
Did it shoot out of your hands?
No, I let go of it. 'Cause
Oh.
I get sprayed in the face.
There's our 30 by 36 brake chambers. And then we need to make sure that the caging bolts are put on the right direction, because the one, they put the bolt where it pulls out up against a frame rail, and we couldn't get a caging bolt out. So we took it from the other one to be able to do that. But when you mount it, you got to make sure that you're able to get this out later. That's the whole purpose of it. Oh, I can't see anything. Is it sticking through the other side there?
Yeah.
Is it in my shot?
I don't know.
Yeah, just go ahead and add the air to it. We are replacing all of the air brake hoses with the nice rubber brake hoses. These had like hydraulic lines on them, and they're all old and brittle, and none of the swivel fittings on the ends were working, so it was very hard for us to get them out. We had to spin the can around to get them, and they're junk. I mean, we were able to limp them back to the shop to fix that. If this had been on the road, we could have used a pair of pliers like this, these crimpers on the road, if it had rubber brake hoses, but those hoses on there were like hard as a rock, petrified, like hydraulic lines. So this type of tool wouldn't have worked to block off that airline. The swivel fittings on the end weren't moving, so we couldn't just disconnect the airline and block it off with a fitting. We couldn't get the brake to cage. The caging bolt would go in, but it wasn't at the right angle to be able to get it to turn. We couldn't get to latch in no matter what. The inside spring was like misaligned with the outside hole. It just wasn't going to work. So we had everything going against us on this. Well, he broke down late in the afternoon on a Friday, and we were able to get him out of here Monday afternoon, so it wasn't too bad.